Okay, let's dive into this. Picture this. A pretty quiet town in Colombia, Buga Valle del Cauca. It's March 2025.
Right.
And then, bam, something drops out of the sky. Not just any old thing, but this metallic sphere. And almost right away, it triggers this massive debate. Not just, what is it? But is someone deliberately hiding what it really is?
The cover-up angle emerges quickly.
Exactly. This is the whole Buga flying sphere mystery and the conspiracy theory that just blew up around it.
So what made it so compelling? Just landing there? Or the object itself?
Well, based on the initial reports
and
what people like Jose Luis Velasquez were saying early on, it had some really weird features.
Okay.
It's described as this metallic orb, maybe 4.5 pounds, like 2 kilos, and strangely, reportedly very cold when they found it.
Cold to the touch. Interesting. But usually there's more to these stories.
Oh, yeah. That's just the start. The details are what really got people buzzing.
Yeah.
Velasquez and others said it looked seamless.
Seamless meaning?
Like no visible welds, no joints, almost like it was made in one single piece, not assembled.
Right. Okay. That is unusual. Defies typical manufacturing, at least the obvious kinds.
And then there were these alleged X-ray scans, claiming it wasn't solid metal through and through.
Oh. What did they supposedly show?
3 distinct layers inside, concentric layers of metal.
Wow. Layers.
And maybe the weirdest bit, 9 smaller microspheres apparently embedded inside those layers, sort of arranged around a central core.
9 microspheres inside layers. Okay, that's starting to sound pretty exotic.
And wait, there's more. Claims of mysterious carvings or etchings on the surface.
Carvings? Like what?
Some people said they looked like ancient writing, mentioned things like runes, ogham, even Mesopotamian script. Not just scratches, but like intelligent design.
A message?
Maybe?
Okay, so seamless, layers, microspheres, potential ancient-looking carvings. I can see why social media would latch onto that.
Absolutely. It just exploded. Especially in UFO circles, conspiracy communities. People immediately jumped to not human, extraterrestrial tech, advanced UAP hardware. It felt like, the proof.
And I remember comparisons were made pretty quickly to those Peruvian alien mummies, right?
Yeah.
Which were largely debunked.
Yes, and that's a crucial point. For believers in the Bugosphere, that comparison wasn't just skepticism.
No. What was it then?
They saw it as a deliberate tactic. Like, let's discredit this new, maybe real thing by tying it to that old fake. Guilt by association.
Poisoning the well. Framing it as a hoax before it even gets properly investigated.
Precisely. And that's where the conspiracy really solidifies. It's not just, wow, weird object. It's, this object is proof of aliens, and they are actively, ruthlessly hiding it. The Bugosphere theory is fundamentally about the cover-up.
So why did it catch on so fast? Why this object this time? What made the ground so fertile for this kind of narrative?
Well, several things kind of came together. First, obviously, the object itself, the anomalous artifact argument.
The features we just talked about.
Yeah. The seamlessness, the layers, the microspheres.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, that just doesn't compute with known human tech. Yeah. It looks impossible. So that creates a gap, right? And a theory rushes in.
Makes sense. An explanatory vacuum.
And it fits perfectly with that classic, the truth is hidden idea. If this was real alien tech, the assumption is, well, of course governments or some shadowy group would suppress it.
Why? What's the motive there?
To avoid panic, maybe?
Yeah.
Stop society from collapsing? Or, more compellingly for some, to get that tech for themselves. Imagine reverse engineering that. Secrecy becomes the default expectation.
Right, the potential power is too great to just share openly. Control is paramount.
Exactly. Could be transparent. And this whole thing lands smack in the middle of all this increased talk about UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena.
Yeah, the official disclosures, the hearings.
But for the Buka believers, that official stuff is like too little, too controlled, maybe even a distraction. They see the Bugosphere as the real deal, the physical proof that they are withholding while giving us vague hints.
So the official narrative is seen as incomplete or even deceptive.
And then you have the reaction from, say, mainstream science or media. When a skeptic, like scientist Julia Mossbridge, suggests maybe it's an art project.
A plausible, mundane explanation?
Believers don't see it that way.
Okay.
They see it as part of the cover-up. Either she's a dupe or she's in on it, planting doubt. Skepticism gets reframed as suppression.
Okay. And the comparisons to hoaxes, like the Peruvian mummies.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Not seen as responsible caution based on past fakes. It's viewed as a deliberate strategy. Let's taint this booga thing by linking it to something everyone knows is fake. Condition people to dismiss it.
Trying to discredit it from the outset.
Exactly. Poison the well, like you said. And finally, just the sheer idea of confirmed alien artifact. And the global implications are huge, right? For power, tech, maybe religion, philosophy.
Everything would change.
So the assumption is the fight for control, the secrecy, would have to be massive, international.
So it's a convergence, a genuinely weird object, existing distrust, the UAP buzz, and social media fanning the flames. Fertile ground indeed.
Right. So for this deep dive, that's our mission. Unpack the whole thing. The incident, the conspiracy claims, the evidence proponents point to, the counter-arguments, and crucially, why these ideas grab hold of us. Let's unpack this mystery together.
Okay, so at the heart of this bogosphere conspiracy theory, it's this absolute conviction, isn't it, that this wasn't just space junk or weird weather equipment.
Absolutely. It's presented as undeniable. An extraterrestrial artifact or something hyper-advanced, non-human, landed. And now it's being hidden ruthlessly.
So what are the core tenets, the non-negotiable points for those who believe this?
Okay, claim number one, the bedrock. The steer is 100% extraterrestrial or hyper-advanced non-human tech, period.
And the reasoning goes back to the physical stuff.
Exactly. They point to that seamless construction, no welds, no joints. They say humans can't make metal like that, especially not a sphere this perfect. To them, that's exhibit A for non-human origin.
The object is the primary evidence.
Definitely. And then the alleged internal stuff. The 3 layers, the 9 embedded microspheres from those supposed scans, that's not seen as random. It's complex, specific engineering. Proof of advanced design, even if we don't get the purpose.
Structure implies intent.
Right. Even the cold to the touch report gets woven in. Maybe exotic materials. Or some kind of internal cooling system tied to its function. Something beyond our science.
And the carvings, if real.
Well, that's the clincher for many. Alien language. An interface. Undeniable proof of non-human intelligence trying to communicate or at least label their tech.
Okay, so if it's accepted as undeniable alien tech, what's the immediate next step in the theory?
That leads straight to claim number 2. Immediate seizure and classification by covert forces.
The cover-up in action.
Right. The theory goes,
Yeah.
the object was snatched up super fast. Government agents, maybe Colombian military under orders, maybe some shadowy international task force swooping in.
And the speed is key.
The speed is seen as proof of how important and potentially dangerous it was. Faster than any normal investigation of fallen debris. Urgent secrecy needed.
And then, poof, it's gone.
Gone. Not just collected, but allegedly whisked away to some top-secret place. A black site. Underground base, hidden lab, you name it. Studied in total secrecy.
And Colombia's role in this?
Either coerced into cooperating or maybe complicit, handing it over to bigger players. Usually speculated to be the US, maybe NATO, or some special UN group operating off the books.
Okay, object secured, hidden. But how do they keep the lid on it publicly? That must be the next part.
Claim number 3. The orchestrated public relations campaign and narrative control. This details the alleged manipulation tactics.
Like the art project idea.
Exactly. When scientists like Julia Mossbridge suggest art project, the theory frames that as deliberate disinformation. Either the scientists are fooled, fed a cover story, or they're knowingly playing a part in the deception, providing a mundane excuse.
Okay. What else?
Linking it to known hoaxes. That comparison to the Peruvian mummies, seen as a calculated hit job, taint the boogosphere by association, make the public skeptical before they even look closely.
Preemptive discrediting.
Right. And they also point to the lack of clear information coming out afterwards. Vague statements, no detailed findings released. The perception that the mainstream media was gently encouraged to move on, all part of controlling the story.
So who's behind all this hiding and narrative control? And why?
That's claim number 4. The deep state global elite shadowy cabal's agenda. What are the motives?
Gotta be big motives for a cover-up this huge.
The number 1 suspected motive, reverse engineering. They believe this group desperately wants to figure out the sphere's tech, especially those microspheres seen as key to maybe propulsion, energy, comms, game-changing stuff.
Unparalleled power if they crack it.
Precisely. Technological and geopolitical dominance, another big motive. Maintaining control.
Control over what?
Over society, basically. The idea is revealing undeniable alien tech could cause global chaos. Panic, collapse of power structure, shattering of beliefs. They want to manage that revelation or prevent it entirely, keep the status quo.
Plausible motives within that worldview? Any others?
Yeah, darker ones sometimes, maybe preparing for alien threats, or exploiting resources connected to the object. And then there's a whole subset of theories about the sphere's original purpose.
Oh, like what was it doing before it fell?
Yeah, lots of speculation there. Maybe an alien scout probe, monitoring us. The microspheres could be sensors. Or maybe a terraforming device, something dormant meant to alter the environment later.
Wow, okay. Anything less technological?
Some theories get more metaphysical. An interdimensional gateway or key, a portal device. Maybe its landing was deliberate, a drop-off, or even a gift or a test for humanity, like, can we figure out this seamless object without breaking it?
A puzzle from the stars.
Kinda. And finally, the simpler idea. Maybe it's just debris from a bigger crash nearby, part of something larger that's still hidden.
Okay, so that's the narrative. Alien artifact, hidden by powerful forces, secret motives, controlled story. But what do proponents point to as actual evidence? What makes them so sure?
Well, they always circle back to the object itself. The anomalous physical characteristics are Exhibit A. That seamlessness.
It keeps coming up.
It's central. For believers, the lack of visible welds isn't just odd, it's proof of tech beyond us. They constantly ask, how else could you make that?
And the internal stuff reinforces this.
Definitely. The layers, those 9 microspheres from the alleged scans, seen as clear signs of complex, deliberate engineering for some unknown important function, not random.
Checked points to purpose.
And the carvings, if real and not earthly symbols, are seen as smoking gun proof of non-human intelligence. Communication attempts, even the cold to the touch detail is used as evidence. Exotic materials maybe, advanced cooling, something unexplained.
So the object is proof. What else? Does the reaction to it count as evidence for them?
Oh, absolutely. The official skepticism, especially how quickly the art project idea popped up from people like Julie Mossbridge, is seen as highly suspicious.
Suspicious how?
Like, why rush to a mundane explanation? Why not seriously consider the extraordinary, given the features? They interpret that speed as an attempt to shut down speculation, control the narrative immediately.
And the fact that updates seem to stop after the initial buzz?
That's interpreted as proof positive of seizure and suppression. The lack of transparency post-discovery. The object just disappeared into secrecy, they argue. The slow pace, no detailed public reports, all signs it's being studied covertly.
Hidden away.
And remember those comparisons to known hoaxes.
The Peruvian mummies thing again?
Yeah. For proponents, that's not responsible science. It's a malicious tactic. Part of the strategy. Discredit real anomalies by lumping them in with fakes.
What about the timing with all the UAP talk?
They definitely connect it. The UAP disclosure context. Governments admit something's out there, but give no solid proof. Then booga happens, tangible proof, they believe. And its suppression confirms their suspicion that the official disclosure is carefully managed, hiding the real evidence.
So booga becomes the smoking gun the government won't show us.
Exactly. And one last point, that comment Julia Mossbridge reportedly made about international rules.
What about it?
Some proponents seize on that, her mentioning the complexity of rules for handling discoveries. They see it as an accidental reveal. A hint that there are secret, pre-existing international protocols specifically for grabbing confirmed alien finds, implying big players and established procedures are involved.
Okay, I see how they build the case piece by piece, interpreting events through that cover-up lens. But what's the flip side? What are the straightforward scientific and logical counterarguments?
Right, the skeptical view. The absolute first point is the glaring lack of peer-reviewed scientific analysis. Meaning, all these claims, alien metal, internal spheres, weird carvings, are based on initial reports, anecdotes, alleged scans nobody independent has verified, until it's properly studied by accredited scientists using standard methods published for others to check. It's all just speculation. Calling it alien is a huge leap without data.
Okay, so step one is actual science needs to happen. What about the no welds claim? Is that really impossible for humans?
Well, the counter is, no welds joints is not conclusive proof of alien origin. While a perfectly seamless sphere might be tricky with everyday welding, there are advanced techniques.
Like what?
Things like investment casting, sophisticated metal 3D printing, maybe certain forging methods. They can create objects with seams that are practically invisible or truly seamless depending on the process and scale. We'd need to know the exact metal, its structure, before saying humans can't make this.
So seamless doesn't automatically equal alien. What about the layers and microspheres inside?
The argument there is complex internal structures could easily be sophisticated terrestrial components.
Terrestrial, like what?
Think high-tech equipment. Could it be part of a scientific instrument package from a weather balloon? or satellite component, maybe part of an advanced drone, or even specialized industrial gear.
And the microspheres.
Could be anything within that context. Ballast for density, tiny sensors, power cells, data storage. Without analysis, calling them alien probes is jumping way ahead. They could be perfectly normal if advanced human-made parts.
Right. And the carvings, the alien language.
Same issue. Claims of mysterious carvings need rigorous verification. There's sadly a history of hoaxes here, or people misinterpreting natural marks.
Pareidolia, seeing patterns where none exist.
Exactly. Or deliberate fakes. You'd need experts, metallurgists, linguists, archaeologists to confirm they're artificial, deliberate, and don't match any known human script or symbol, ancient or modern. That hasn't happened.
Okay. What about the coldness? Cold to the touch?
That's likely explained by altitude. An object falling from high up balloon altitude, satellite orbit, even a high-flying plane gets incredibly cold.
Just basic physics.
Right. How long it stays cold depends on its mass, its material, the ground temperature. Cold is subjective without temperature readings and material data. It doesn't automatically point to exotic tech or power sources.
Makes sense. Now, what about that art project explanation that believers dismiss as disinformation? Is it actually plausible from a skeptical view?
Very plausible, yes. The art project is a compelling explanation. Think about it. A striking, seamless form, intriguing hidden details inside, maybe ambiguous symbols, an object designed to provoke wonder, questions about origins, technology, aliens.
That sounds exactly like what conceptual art often tries to do.
Precisely. It generates buzz, discussion, goes viral. The effect it had could be seen as the entire point, a sign of a very successful, if mysterious, art piece challenging our perceptions.
And the comparison to known hoaxes like the Peruvian mummies, is that just standard scientific procedure?
Absolutely. Comparing to hoaxes is legitimate scientific caution. It's not a conspiracy. In science, when you get an extraordinary claim, you look at precedents. Have similar claims turned out to be fake before? Yes.
So reminding people to be skeptical and demand solid proof before believing is just responsible practice.
The burden of proof is on the extraordinary claim, always. And finally, the whole snatched by a secret international task force idea.
Is there any actual evidence for that dramatic scenario?
Well, there's a lack of official documentation or credible independent reports of anything beyond Colombian authorities collecting it for investigation, as they likely would any unidentified fallen object. The fact locals apparently had some access initially seems to argue against an immediate cinematic swoop by covert forces.
So its disappearance is more likely just normal investigation procedure.
Consistent with it being taken for analysis, yes. Not necessarily proof of a deep state black site operation.
Okay, so you've got the object's strangeness fueling a cover-up narrative versus skeptical explanations for each strange detail. But the conspiracy theory clearly has power. It resonates. Why? Why do people gravitate towards this narrative?
That's the really interesting part, isn't it? There are deep reasons. First, there's just a powerful, almost primal human desire for contact. The idea we're not alone. It's profound. An object like this feels like tangible hope, concrete evidence almost within grasp.
More real than lights in the sky.
Much more. It also caps right into a widespread distrust of authority. Governments, big science, media, many people already feel lied to or excluded. So the idea that they are hiding something this big, it confirms their existing biases. The perceived lack of transparency just fuels it more.
And the UAP conversation primes people for this.
Definitely. The truth is out there. Vibe is strong right now thanks to official acknowledgments, however limited. The boogosphere arrives and feels like the piece of tangible proof that validates the whole narrative many were already leaning into.
Plus, the object is genuinely weird, at least at first glance.
Yes, the genuine mystery of the unknown features. Seamlessness, layers. When science doesn't have an instant, perfect answer for every detail, conspiracy theories offer a narrative that feels complete, even if it's speculative. It fills the void.
And the tech itself is just cool to think about.
Totally. The allure of advanced technology. Flying spheres, exotic materials, unknown energy. It's captivating. It sparks the imagination like few other things can.
And this story went global fast.
Right. The global implications plus social media echo chambers. It spread like wildfire online before careful analysis could even start. Initial claims got amplified, repeated, reinforced within communities, gaining momentum far faster than cautious science.
A perfect storm for the digital age, really.
It really is. It highlights the challenge for all of us, for you listening. How do you navigate this stuff? Sensational claims, real anomalies maybe, plausible alternatives, deep-seated distrust. The bugosphere isn't just about a metal ball. It's a case study in how we process the unknown now.
So, the Booga flying sphere theory paints this dramatic picture. Undeniable alien tech lands, gets whisked away by secret forces wanting its power, while a campaign of disinformation keeps us in the dark.
Yeah, it's a compelling story. On the other hand, you have skeptical views offering more grounded explanations, advanced human tech, maybe even art for all the weirdness. But the conspiracy holds sway for many, fueled by the mystery, the distrust, the simple hope we're not alone.
Right. So the final thought for you, listening. When you hear stories like this, the Boogosphere, with its odd features and conflicting narratives, how do you balance that mystery with skepticism?
Is it the real deal? Hidden away in Area 51's Colombian cousin? Or is it a testament to human skill, maybe engineering, maybe art, and our powerful need to weave narratives around the unexplained, cosmic truth, or a story reflecting our own hopes and fears?
What does this whole saga tell us about how we grapple with the unknown in an age saturated with information and often misinformation? Something to think about.